1995. Disneyland Paris is about to open its biggest new attraction, Space Mountain de la Terre la Lune. Ever since its opening in 1992, Euro Disney have been facing many problems. The resort encountered many controversies, and by 1994 it was on the verge of bankruptcy. Now the resort's last hopes are on this one attraction, Space Mountain de la Terre la Lune. This ride was a major success and it guaranteed the future of Disneyland Paris. But 10 years later it was replaced and nowadays it is a Star Wars overlay. But will Space Mountain from the Earth to the Moon return? Mais est-ce que c'est Space Mountain de la Terre la Lune pour revenir à Disneyland Paris? First, we need to take a look at the history of this attraction. Imagineers originally had a much ambitious plan for this attraction, or rather, an attraction complex as it was designed back then. It would have many attractions in basically the same space, a terminal for travel, let's say, like an Epcot pavilion. One of these proposed rides was based on Jules Verne de la Terre la Lune, from the Earth to the Moon, as a roller coaster. Some earlier concepts also show a free-fall tower, train station, restaurants, and even the Nautilus here. But the financial situation was not the best, so plans were scaled back and the roller coaster concept remained, and the Nautilus. The new plan for Discovery Mountain would have the load station outside to facilitate a cannon launch, which was also based on the book by Jules Verne, where they are launched to the moon via a cannon from the Baltimore Gun Club. The roller coaster would be manufactured by Vekoma. The coaster will also feature a quite unique catapult launch system. The layout would also have 3 inversions. Revolutionary for the time was the synchronized onboard sound system with the iconic soundtrack made by Steven Branson. But there was one problem: the name, Discovery Mountain. You see, marketing thought it would be hard to sell this ride to guests, so the name was changed to Space Mountain, fitting with the other existing rides. But the signs were already made, so you still have to this day these emblems reading DM for Discovery Mountain. Space Mountain de la Terre la Lune would open on June 1st, 1995. It was a huge success, the resort received more attention, and many people say that this ride basically saved Disneyland Paris, with Michael Eisner allegedly even giving the lead Imagineer Tim Delaney a note thanking him for saving the resort. But 10 years later, it was replaced. Space Mountain Mission 2 would distance itself from the Jules Verne theme and have a new soundtrack. But for the resort's 25th anniversary, they decided to retheme it to Star Wars, like the Disneyland version. Hyperspace Mountain came to be. At least we got new train chassis and this Future de la Terre la Lune designs. So when Space Mountain Mission 2 became Hyperspace Mountain, it always seemed as if it was a temporary fix. So will Space Mountain de la Terre la Lune come back? Peut-être revenir à Disneyland Paris? I personally find it quite possible. However, keep in mind guys that everything I'm going to say from now forward is just speculation. This is not confirmed by Disneyland Paris. C'est seulement spéculation, pas est confirmé par Disneyland Paris. You see, I definitely think that there is the possibility for Space Mountain, the original version, to return, and I definitely think that this possibility is greater than all the other possibilities. However, when it happens is another story. My main thesis is that the track for this ride is getting older and someday it might need to be retracted. Je crois que dans l'avenir, Space Mountain peut besoin d'un remplacement de trajet. And so, while they do this work, they can bring back the moon. The problem is that I don't see it happening in the near future. But first guys, before I continue, please click that subscribe button. Thanks. Exhibit A. Python. Python is a roller coaster located at Defunctland that opened in 1981 and was also manufactured by Vekoma. But it got old, so instead of replacing with a new ride, the park decided to preserve its legacy, so they retracted it in 2017, some 35 years later. So, can we see the same with Space Mountain? And according to that calculation, I can see a retrack happening in 2030. Je peux voir un remplacement de trajet se produire en vers 2030. And that can make some sense as Walt Disney Studios Park is currently in a major renovation. So all capital investments are happening at the Studios Park. So maybe after the renovation is somewhat complete, I can see them retracking this ride and bringing back the moon. However, this doesn't mean it will happen. First off, the ride is indoors, meaning that you would need to open up a hole in the building to remove the track, then put it back again. So just like what happened at Eurosat at Europa Park, you can still see where the hole was from Google Earth. Also, the launch system is quite outdated nowadays. Maybe they will need to replace it with LSM or LIM launch or some type of tire launch maybe. However, that would just add to the cost. So the other question is, will they need to wait for a retrack or will they just do it?
Do it! Just do it!
But if you look at what From the Earth to the Moon was, maybe we just need a small retrofit, because many of the things that make De la Terre à la Lune are already present on the Star Wars version. We have the building and the cannon. We just need to add some effects back, bring back the soundtrack, and improve the ride in general. What adds to the cost will be the retracking, and over time the track will just get rougher and rougher. So maybe for the 35th anniversary they will replace the Star Wars theme without retracking. But guys, that is just speculation. Mais c'est seulement speculation. It would be awesome to see the return of Space Mountain from the Earth to the Moon, but while it might take a few years, I think the current version of the ride is awesome, and Disneyland Paris offers awesome rides. So if Disneyland Paris is your home park, don't be disappointed, because you have an awesome resort right at your backyard. So if you want to see the future of Disneyland Paris, click the video on the screen right now. A bientôt!